Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It is November 17th. I cannot believe it. Next week is Thanksgiving. How did that happen? On top of that, next week is Black Friday. So hopefully you have your own travel promos or whatever business promos that you would like to promote already set up and all that. I do have to give a little bit of a spoiler. If you're on the email list, by now, if you've received the email today, know that there's a big Black Friday event happening in the travel industry. And so check that out for the links. And I'll also end the link down below here for you in the podcast so that you can check out all of the goodies that are available to you in the travel industry to help build up your business as we're getting closer to Black Friday and Cyber Monday time. Go ahead and take a look and grab as many promos as you would like. Now remember, I love promos as much as anybody else, but we don't need all the promos. So really look in, and especially if you've joined me the past couple of days on the Plan Your Year session, take what you need and leave what you don't. You don't need everything. So when you're looking at 2024, what does your business really need, or what can you tidy up a little bit when you're looking at those Black Friday promos? But I cannot wait. I am so excited because this also means we're getting even closer to the holidays, and I just love this time of year. And you know that I have been doing a lot recently in this quarter, and I don't even think I had planned to do as much as I did, but I really just wanted to be a big service to you and help you within your businesses. So I think I'm going to lay low a little bit in this next month. We'll see though. There's still a couple things up my sleeve that haven't come out yet. But anyways, let's get on to the topic of tools that you need for media interviews. And this episode was inspired by, you know me, I've had this podcast for almost 3 years now. I have been doing a boatload of interviews this past year between audio series, between Prep for Wave Week, all the different things that I love to do, and just the general podcast interviews that I do. And something that always, I don't want to necessarily say boggles my mind, and I'm not trying to call anybody out here either. It's just interesting for many of the people that I've interviewed before that they don't have the tools for these types of interviews. And I'm not saying that you have to spend a lot of money on all these types of things, and I'll add some of my favorite tools from my Amazon wish list down below too. But again, take what you need, leave what you don't. There are some things if you want to be more prominent in media, if you want to do more Facebook lives or just lives, if you want to do Zoom calls, if you want to have a podcast, if you want to be guests on any types of these things, you should have a couple of tools that are going to help with sound and video quality. So, let's go ahead and dive in, because it's not only going to make you, one, look more professional, it's also going to make the overall appearance presentation of whatever it is that you're participating look really on par and over the top. And I don't know why in online business I see this a lot. I don't know why in travel business I don't see this a lot. Maybe nobody's really pointed it out, so I'm going to point it out a little bit. And here we go with my list of tools that you need for media interviews. Number 1, a microphone. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, I will tell you, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a microphone. My very first microphone was off of Amazon, probably 20 to 30 bucks. And it worked just gravy for me. I will be completely transparent and let you know that the higher end microphones that I have were either business gifts to me or personal gifts to me, because I have 2 higher end microphones that I now use that have a little bit of better sound quality. But again, like, you don't need to be spending hundreds of dollars. Like the one that I have on Amazon, I'm not sure if it's still available, but the name of it was Fifine, Fifine. The one that I'm recording off right now is a Blue Yeti microphone, and that's a higher end. That's going to cost a couple $100. But especially if you're just starting your journey with these types of media interviews, I wouldn't like go all in unless you're generating the revenue to kind of support that. The other microphone that I personally use is a Revelator. Now, talking about microphones too, there's a couple things that you can have that help your microphone out. And the one, so normally like your microphone will have like some sort of metal screen to take your voice in. Something that you should add to your microphone, and this is going to depend on the type of microphone that you have, is something like called a windscreen that kind of like buffers the sound, especially when we're talking about your p, 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 and your t, t, t. Those can be particularly hard on a microphone. So a windscreen, and I'm trying to think even if that's the right thing, if that's the right word, but having some sort of cover or protectant over the metal part to make those, I forget what it, there's a term for that, and I think it begins with a P, but now I can't remember. But it ups the value of your audio, and those are really going to be like maybe $10 to $20. They're not going to be that much, and it takes your audio to the next level as well. So I would say definitely microphone, bare minimum, where you need to start. Where you can take it to the next level is with that windscreen, but also with earbuds. So this can be AirPods, this can be wired or wireless ears as well. And this is just going to help improve the sound quality, especially if you are recording in a place where it's not quiet. Like, I am very lucky. I live on my own. I don't have any animals, so I don't have to worry about any outside sound. But if you do, or if you're in a noisy area, outside of, just closing your door and all that, you can add in AirPods, and that will just heighten the sound quality for the recording that you're making. And again, these can be video or it can be podcasting audio recordings. So simple. This is not something that you need to buy, but it is having a clean screen. So especially when you are recording for video, for sure, you want to make sure that the camera on your laptop or wherever you're recording from is nice and clean, so your colors can come out nice and crisp and people can see you clearly. Like, that's one of my little pet peeves, was when I'm like, oh, there's like, this person is glowing because they have a dirty camera on their laptop. So you can do that. Adding kind of like to, if you want a cleaner screen, sometimes like laptop and like the built-in cameras aren't the best. So you may want to go with purchasing a camera, and Logitech is a really good add-on that you can add for like having like 1080p or 4K type of clarity for those videos that you do for your different media recordings that you have. Again, like, you don't need all the things, and even like start small. And if you find yourself to be doing a lot and want to take yourself to the extra level, I remember the Travefy team had mentioned, now they use like digital pro cameras. I forget what they are. I think it's a Canon something that they connect, and that's how they view. But if you've ever been like on a Travefy like business webinar and been like, wow, that looks really nice, that's how they do it, is with an even more external, and it's a whole setup, and it's an amazing setup. So if you're like looking to like have advanced media setup, investing in something like a Canon camera, which I think is man, maybe $600 or $700, there might be a good Black Friday deal, but no guarantees, and also not necessary in the beginning, but it does take you to the edge the more advanced that you go. Also, a clear background. This is also something that you may not necessarily need to spend money on, but the background that people need to see you in, it is funny, the types of backgrounds that I've seen. I've seen like cluttered bookshelves behind people, and that can really distract sometimes. And I think it like depends on what the media opportunity is as well. But especially if you're being filmed, if you have a cluttered backdrop, make sure to either declutter or use like some sort of virtual background, or just change where you're going to be at so you don't have that kind of background. Opposite of what the background is the foreground. So I know a lot of people, your lighting isn't so great when you're doing video recordings. So a great rule of thumb to kind of like see where the best light is where is the sun shining towards you? And the sun should be shining, again, towards you, not behind you. If the sun is shining, or whatever light source you have is shining from behind you, you're going to be backlit. And in your media recording, your face is going to have like this shadow because you are backlit and not front lit like you should be. Kind of like going into lighting too, if you don't have like the best lighting where you're at, maybe invest in some sort of ring light that you can like add some sort of lighting to your face so that the light is shining on your face as well. And then how you dress should be another one of the considerations. And solid colors are really one of the best things that you can do for yourself, especially when you're doing media. You don't want to have any busyness because, again, it's kind of like that busy bookshelf in the background. It kind of detracts from you. You are the center point. You are the focal point. And what you have to say is the focal point. And if people are distracted by too many things on the screen, that is just going to get into the viewpoint. So kind of like backtracking to like thinking about background, like do you have just a plain background in the back? Is there like one sort of focal point? I know a lot of people like to also like put a plant or two in the background, or is there something like personal, like a personal photo that you can add? There's different ways that you can stage your background so that it just looks a little bit more presentable as well. So solid colors. Try and stay away, like from graphics and like logos and things like that when you're on media interviews. The other thing is an open and giving mindset and being very personable. And so I know like I'm talking about tools, like physical tools, but I think like this is also a tool for you to have. Now, if you haven't done media interviews, you may be nervous, and that is totally normal. And I will say, like, even on my interviews, I am nervous as well sometimes. I'm a big stress sweater, and not saying that that's completely going to ever be eliminated. But the best thing that you can do for yourself to help make it easier is to keep doing these types of interviews and keep practicing and getting in front of the camera more often, because the more often you do it, the more comfortable that you will be. And even like stress, sweat aside, just the more confidence that you'll gain from being able to touch on similar talking points. Like that's a tool that you can have ready, is like, what are your key talking points for this discussion? What do you want to make sure you go over? What is the title so you're in the right frame of mind? Can you do anything kind of like to get rid of the jitters, like dancing or bouncing around or whatever it might be, calling up a friend, looking at a funny video? And those things will also help to get you in the right mindset, because no one likes interviewing anybody to be like, what's your favorite color? Oh, I love purple. And that's it. Like this is a conversation that's happening. It's not necessarily, I'm going to drill you on 50 questions right now. Answer this, answer that. No. Like the best types of interviews are where you can flow back and forth sometimes there might not be a personality match, but you do want to be able just to make sure that you are open and that you're personable and you're friendly and that you're giving, because you've been invited to do this interview for some sort of reason. You have some sort of expertise. People think highly of you and they want to share you with their audience. And so make sure that the impression that they have is the actuality that will come out in that interview as well, by being open and having that communication. And I think, like, for me, that's kind of what's made it easier, especially when I'm hosting the podcast and things like that, is that I don't think I would have ever considered myself a conversationalist beforehand. And even like now, it's still a little bit tricky for me to start, because I do see myself as a bit of an introvert. But once I get into the groove, I'm like, okay, we got this started. So whatever it kind of like takes for you to get into that space also, that is going to further help with having a wonderful media interview that not only increases your visibility, it shows expertise to a new sort of audience and gets other people on your radar, which means that like more media opportunities and things might be coming your way from more eyeballs on you. And what that means is that you get more sales eventually. The more people that know about you, what you do, and are loving it and are gelling and vibing with you, the more I want to say like river flow, the more ocean flow, the more flow that there is for business to happen for you. Not making any guarantees, but that's just a natural thing, that if more people know about you, love what you do, they're going to be either apt to utilize your services or to recommend your services to somebody else. So those are the tools that you need for media interviews: microphones, earbuds, clean screen, clear background, solid colors, good lighting, and an open mindset. So if you have any questions for me, just head on over to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Facebook group, and I would be happy to answer them. You can head on over to the show description too, and I'll add a couple of my physical tools that you can check out in my Amazon affiliate link down there. And don't forget Black Friday. Yay! I will be coming here next Friday to talk about I don't know what yet. But because this is probably the last touch point you'll have between me and Thanksgiving, I do want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Please be safe. Enjoy it with the loved ones around you, whether that be friends, families, colleagues, mentors. I hope you enjoy all the goodies. I cannot wait for just all the deliciousness, all the desserts, the turkey, the stuffing, everything. It's like one of my favorite holidays. So I hope you have just as great one as I'm planning to have. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. I will see you next week. Bye. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.